So thanks to RJ's Knives doing a video on a new Queen, I think that was a Queen City Trapper. Um, I realized that Smoky Mountain Knife Works posted some more Queen knives on their website. So I went on over and I ordered one of those winter bottom bone trappers that he got because I thought it looked kind of cool. And that's a little disappointing, but that's a video for another day. And then I saw this thing which is the Queen Big Chief, which is actually a knife that Queen used to make back when Queen was still in Titusville, and they were American made and all that, and it wasn't Smoky Mountain Knife Works having a factory in China produce the knives with the Queen name on them, which is what these are. These are made in the same factory as the Rough Rider knives, I believe, um, and the Marvels knives, and all that stuff. So they're made in China. But this is actually a model that Queen used to make before they went out of business. And this is the Big Chief, which is a daddy or granddaddy Barlow. But instead of having your normal handles, which are comprised of nickel, silver, or steel bolster, and like a bone or Delrin or something cover with like brass or steel liners, this is just slabs of aluminum, which is kind of cool. It's definitely a different way to do it. You still got some texturing here on the handles to kind of, mimic jig bone a little bit. And then, of course, even though you don't have a shield, you do have a little like shield spot there that says Big Chief on it, which is kind of cool. The blade's around 4 inches, like every Daddy Barlow or Granddaddy Barlow. The action on this one is pretty good. Pretty happy with it. It's got this nice little easy open notch here, so you can easily pinch it open if you're somebody who chews off your fingernails or something. You don't need fingernails to open it. Of course, the original model of this, I don't believe, had the hex bolt pivot. I think it was probably just pinned, like most traditional knives are. But this one has the hex bolts, so you could adjust the action or fix blade play rather easily if you needed to. That being said, this one doesn't have any blade play or anything. I think even the centering's pretty good on this. Maybe I'm wrong about that. That look I just got right there wasn't very good. Okay, it moves around a little bit. Okay, so it has a wandering centering. So I guess I could probably tighten up that pivot a little bit and maybe fix that. But that's not the end of the world or anything if it's just bumping into the sides a little bit. But anyway, of course, this knife is, I think it's under $20. I think it's around $15, something like that. Somewhere in there, $15 to $17 range, I think. You get this Queen steel etch here, the Queen Tang stamp, quote unquote. I think it's more like an etch. And then 440C instead of 440A, like most Rough Rider knives are. And of course, it's made in China. So if this is in fact 440C, this is definitely a steel upgrade over any Rough Rider knife you get, other than the reserves, which use D2. 440C is a pretty good stainless steel. I still do prefer carbon steel just because of its characteristics and how it stains and everything. But that's just me. This knife is definitely designed to be like a working knife with the aluminum slab handles and the 440C blade steel. It's got this bail on it, and it's done really well. Unlike a lot of bails that just kind of flop around and get in the way of the blade and stuff occasionally, this one is, stiff, so it kind of stays where you want it to stay. So that's nice. I don't necessarily think you need a bail on a knife like this, but if for whatever reason you want a bail, it does have a bail, and it is like a well done bail that doesn't flop around like crazy, get in the way of the blade and everything. So, well made knife. Pretty glad I ordered one. I think it'll be a good addition to my daddy slash granddaddy Barlow collection. You know, I really am into these bigger 5-inch Barlow knives. Still haven't quite figured out if there's a difference between daddy and granddaddy Barlows. I think it's the same name for the same pattern, or a different name for the same pattern, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not an expert on it. But I do collect them, and I feel like this is a pretty good addition to that collection. Now, the blade does have some light scratches on it and everything. Not a big deal to me. This is certainly a working knife. This isn't something just to put in like a case or something and look pretty, like some of the knives Rough Rider makes. You know, they look really good, but you wouldn't necessarily want to use them. But I am kind of hoping, since they did this knife, I am kind of hoping maybe Queen will be something different than Rough Rider. Unlike, I kind of feel like most of the Queen knives so far have been basically Rough Riders with a different Tang stamp on them and a different company name. This one is certainly something different. I've never seen a Rough Rider like this before, and they're using an upgraded steel, which is awesome. But anyway, this was the Queen Big Chief, and this is going to be it for this video, and I hope you guys have a good day.